Peace. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome, family, to Time Podcast by Atiya J. This is your self-help, spiritual podcast, uplifting topics we all love to avoid, but we definitely need to conquer. Tea time is your moment to pause, listen, and absorb what is soothing to you. I'm Atiya J, aka Tia, a certified holistic life coach, and this idea was sparked by my passion to help others discover their latent potential, purpose, and significance, especially if you are one who feels overlooked, alone, or forgotten. You are not alone. You are not forgotten. I see you and I feel you. Welcome to Tea Time Podcast. Enjoy the tea. Before recording, we had to stop our children from doing things because it literally could kill them. It literally could get our young girls raped if they went out of bounds in being a natural God. Like, we are naturally God, and breaking generational curses, we now as parents have to learn how to not kill the God within our children while keeping them, cultivating them in a righteous way so that they know not to break certain godly boundaries, not our boundaries, godly boundaries. And it's okay for me to get annoyed, but that means I need to pay more attention to my child. If I directed that energy, guess what? I'm not going to be annoyed.
Period. And that's where Allah God, as the creator, gives us force and power as parents to our children. And also too, while you were speaking, I thought about the saying, let a child be a child. We took that as tell them lies, keep them young forever, don't let them grow up, don't let them be these big great things. Why? Because the world for Black people kills big great things, which is why every Black leader that we have had has been killed in a sense.
Come on now.
So it's not so much let a child be a child. It's more about what you're speaking on in terms of guiding what it is that they're doing so that they do grow up to be what it is that they want to be. So if your child is determined, let them be determined at whatever they want to be determined in or at.
Absolutely.
I'm going back.
Go ahead. You said it. Plant the seed. Last time we talked, you were talking about coaching, and now you're talking about psychology. So go ahead. Shoot.
No, for real. For real. Because, and I've never had as much knowledge as I think that I have or can provide to myself or others or whatever the case until I joined the Nation of Islam. I just gotta say that.
Praise be to Allah.
Oh, she's so smart. Where's her podcast? Where's she at? No, Nation of Islam. They give us the tools to be able to speak the way that we do and think, right? Think the way that we do.
But I will say, and I believe this is because it comes from my purpose in life. I always saw this fire in you. And I think that's connected. Like literally from day one, when you came in with that, like day one.
Yeah.
You just said Baltimore? Like that was you. I always saw that fire in you. And the nation cultivates people. The nation, we are gods in our own right. Naturally, we are all gods, Black people, because we are the original people from the creator directly. But the nation cultivates us. It teaches us that we are gods. It teaches us that fire that's within us. It teaches us how to keep flaming that fire. And it teaches us what it actually is and how to remain on the straight path and remain righteous outside of the world. Because the world will kill us, literally, and it'll kill our passion. It'll kill our intelligence through college. When we go to college, our intelligence gets killed. Our godliness and our ability to create gets killed as we go through the structures of this world.
Yep.
And the nation is the structure that points us directly to Allah, Master Fard Muhammad. So I just want to say that, yes, the nation cultivated and made you realize who you are, I believe. However, I've always seen that fire in you, and that's for every Black person. That's for every person. You have a fire within you. It's life that is going to put you on the path and find your because life is a classroom, your course of study, your course of action, so that you can be able to actually be connected to that fire that's within you.
Right.
But don't kill that fire. You have it.
And I feel like, through conversation and relationships such as this is where it comes out, like full throttle. Because, when you're trying to figure out things for yourself and by yourself, you like, you know how they say, like, your eyes point outward, not inward, because like, you need that connectedness to be able to bounce back and forth and to see things differently, or you know what I'm saying, like just Absolutely. Go further in your thoughts and your thinking or your actions or whatever the case. So I appreciate you for even having this podcast and allowing me to be on there. I know we've done other episodes, but still, like, it's always, every time I get on here, I'm just like, I don't never really like have no expectations for the conversation. Just because like I know us and I know it's gonna be good regardless. So I don't
Facts.
really hold expectations for it, because I know like whatever Allah bless us to think or say, it just be what it is. And most of the time it's pretty good. So
think so and so. Praise be to Allah. Nah, but thank you for coming on for real. And I can keep going. I don't know what you're talking. Okay, bet. I was looking at this quote you said again from Sister Naira, that every negative thought is from someone else and every positive is from yourself. That, well, we were just talking about how we are God, like we're a part of God, and that to me proves that, because God is all about growth. God is all about righteousness and creating. So that positive that we have, that is God. Like that proves that we're from the source. And the negative is this world will always try to squash that source that we have within us. So I wanted to talk about our relationship with Allah, God, the creator.
Okay.
And
before
you
say that, let me say, because it goes right to your point. Think about what the slave master did in terms of breaking us down from being gods. Changed our name. We talking about language. We talking about things that go directly to our brain that we correlate, size up, measure up. Changed our names, changed our language, changed our religion, changed our everything about us. Beat
Family
us down.
Structure.
Body, mind, and soul destroyed. They wouldn't have had we been the person or the people that came on this planet with negative thoughts and this imbalance. No, can't even say that, because look at what Allah did. And this is how we know, just like you said, we are of him. Not even only that, we are much better than where we are today, because look at you. Allah knew what was inside of us. So yes, these things might have been inside of us, but our environment as gods, as original people, our environment did not bring out of us that negative side that was placed in us. It did not bring it out yet, which is why we, the Americans, Black Americans, etc., was brought over in a different place where the environment was different and everything came about. No different than the white people made in a different place. You couldn't be in the environment of the righteous and be evil or be a devil, etc. You had to go.
That's why we kicked them out.
We don't do wrong in front of our parents.
No.
A lot of people today, and just on a very simple and basic level, a lot of people say that I don't cuss in front of my mother. Wait till you outside of your mother. I bet you be cussing.
Yep.
right? So we don't do wrong in the place where righteousness is. We do it underhandedly. We do it sneakily. We do it in the dark, etc. But anyway, I just wanted to say that because
Go ahead.
Is masterful in the way that he do things. And I know I was telling you earlier that Master Fire Muhammad, who is God in person, mastered the process of reasoning.
Yeah,
and
say that.
That I read you look at the effect and not the cause of things. I don't remember it verbatim, but saying that to say, like, there's always a bigger picture. But yes, that's just all.
That kind of just made me, yesterday I was speaking to grandma, because you know me, I've been showing her minister lectures, and she's deaf, so she's just reading it, so she really getting it. And I was showing her minister lectures, we're getting her healthy, so I was showing her how to eat to live. And she knew of Elijah Muhammad from before. She was born in 1927, I think. So she has heard of him, although she is Christian. But I was telling her, like, belief, because I'm showing her things, and belief came up. And I said, what you said about effect made me think, for me to believe something, I will hear something, and if it sounds right, I'm going to explore it. And I don't believe anything until I test it in my own life. And I look at the effect of what happens when that thing or action or fact is tested. And when I see the effect and it rings true, that's when I have a belief. So in saying that, I realized during the Swan song, I didn't really believe that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad was physically alive. I was taught that. Yes. That's what I was told, but I didn't truly believe that because I never actually studied it. I didn't really know the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. All I've known is the minister, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. So after reading that book, Is It Possible That the Honorable Elijah Muhammad Is Still Physically Alive by Brother Jibril Muhammad, I actually began to believe. And I still have some rereading to do. But now I'm in the process of belief. And now I can actually test it, as the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan teaches us to do. Test it. And that's how you establish. Exactly.
Islam is mathematics, okay?
Mathematics, yo. We don't just believe stuff. We don't just say stuff. Like, and that's what Allah wants us to do. That's why you can only establish a relationship with Allah when you test him. And we fear Allah because I feel like we need to learn exactly. And it's all about learning how to converse with Allah, use Allah. He wants us to use him.
Said on the Swan song, he said, Master Fire Muhammad is begging you to use him.
Yes, that hit me. Yo, that's when I was talking about the prayer I did that led me to the study guide, where I realized, I said, shoot, I'm depressed. And I went to Allah with it, and I said, Allah, like, I'm depressed and I don't know where to go with that. If you could help me. I was filled up with the energy that literally walked my feet. I didn't walk my feet. My feet walked to the study guide. So and that's from the Swan song. That's where I got that idea to do that from. Woof. It's crazy. And but the relationship that you have, facts, yo.
We better stop playing out here. We really living a BS life because we not tapping into that which you just spoke on.
Son, because we're taught that if you can't see it, don't believe it. If you can't see it, don't believe it.
Is real. Because what is faith? You can't see faith until somebody act on it.
How many of us have ever seen our heart?
Oof.
How many of us have seen our lungs, our hearts? I didn't see Journey before she came out of the womb. We see sonograms. I had no idea what I was looking at. They told me. Somebody else told me what I was seeing. So the most powerful force is not what we can see. What we see can be misconstrued. What we see is a perspective. That's not reality. The only reality is the fact that we opened our eyes today. Something is giving us the breath of life.
Woo,
and it's not our lungs that's giving that to us.
We don't even see breath.
We don't even see that. Old. That's the only time. And we don't see the breath. We see the condensation that it creates.
Right.
Who created that process? Who allows that process to continue? Who can constrict and stop that process?
Wow.
Like, when it comes to this science stuff, even I'll go in on this damn vaccine stuff because I still got family members. I got to get my 4th shot now. Oh yeah, they said they're going to do a 4th shot. Like, look, that's them. That's cool. Don't put that on me because I believe in the unseen. And I believe my instruction that I got from the man of God in our presence. And he said, don't touch that vaccine. It doesn't matter what it could or can't do.
Right.
Although he told us that it affects our reproductive system in the swan song. So I'm glad I didn't take that. But it's just because you see it, just because you don't see it, doesn't mean it's not there.
Right.
It doesn't mean what we're seeing is and what we're perceiving is correct. Absolutely. Because that's why science, that's why psychology, there's updates all of the time. Because there's somebody else who will see something and perceive it differently, and they go through the process of proving that, which is cool. There's necessary for that. Just like I said, how we do, I test things in my life in order for me to believe it. When I test that in 30 years, inshallah, if I'm allowed to live that long, maybe what I believe today won't be what I believe tomorrow. I've been there before in my life, and that's okay because life is ever changing. What we go through is ever growing. In the 90s, there was no internet that you can just log into to where I can speak to you and we're not in each other's presence.
Right.
Man. Ooh. The relationship with Allah is the most important relationship, and it will help every single relationship that we have. And I can say that through experience since quarantine. I would say when I was flying as a flight attendant, my relationship with Allah was not pulling on it. I was, I believed Allah allowed me into this realm. I've always wanted to travel. As a little girl, I would spin the globe and point my finger and I would say, I'm going there. Never thought it could happen. So that was straight up Allah's will that it was able to happen. However,
right before you had a child too.
Right before I had a child. I had all this freedom, all of it. But I will say I used that freedom irresponsibly because I didn't continue to go back to the one who gave me that freedom. I took it for my own and within my own understanding instead of going to Allah and continuing to live through his will. I lived through my own. And then that got me into, certain things I won't go into, but that my relationship with Allah was not being cultivated in that moment. I forgot about him and he let me go on blindly. Go on, you'll be back.
I love that you brought this up because I've been getting so many realizations, and you look at this. Wow, I've been getting so many realizations, but me being as stubborn as I can be, I'm hesitant to believe the signs. I know I'm getting the signs, but I'm hesitant and kind of cautious about, are these signs true? Or is this a test? Or straight up doubt? I'm just nah, I'll think about it later, or whatever the case. But what you just saying, how you had this vision or this dream of being able to travel the world and go this and that place, and then Allah blesses you with an experience such as being a travel a flight attendant, and then to hear you say I was irresponsible with that freedom. Look at this, y'all. I've been braiding full time since 2018, right?
Mm-hmm.
I've gotten to a place now where I have a platform, I have an audience, I have clients, I have money. Like, I'm cool. People, you would think like you're cool, you good, right? But my experience being from and in the Nation of Islam, there are certain things that we should not do as Muslims, as believers, right? On my platform, right? I don't care who you are, where you come from, if you know me or not. If you get on my platform, you would not say, that's a Muslim woman. You would not know. If I wasn't talking about this stuff today, you would not know that's a Muslim woman. She Muslim. You might say like, oh, she different, or she thinks about it a lot, or, things of that nature, but you don't know where it stems or comes from. So I've been blessed, right? With the opportunity to work for myself, to make my own money, which in a sense, or AKA freedom, right? And you mean to tell me that somebody can get on my platform and not know that I am a Muslim, that I know how to do for self, as the Honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches? That's absurd. That is insanity.
Bre. Ooh.
Right? And this is something that I have been looking at myself and saying to myself, I'm like, yo, and look at this, imposter syndrome, right? Because I've been talking about, or I talked about a little bit earlier, imposter syndrome. I've been feeling a little bit disconnected. I'm like, yo, I feel like I'm supposed to be doing more. I feel like I'm supposed to be like, this ain't it. Like, you mean to tell me I got an audience and I'm not doing nothing with them? I'm not changing their lives. Now, I could in a business sense, but I'm talking about me as a spiritual person, as a person with intuition, as a person that can offer knowledge, as a person that I'm not doing that, and I got a whole ass platform to do so. I'm being irresponsible with my freedom, which is why I mentioned that quote that you said, because it's so in line with what I've been thinking just personally.
Thank you. Thank you. Yo, that type of self-reflection, that's why we need to talk more often. Yo, because I gave you my reflection, but you just reflected back on me what I'm experiencing right now with trying to build up my own business, coaching. And when you said that about your platform and how you would not know that you were a Muslim woman on it, I'm doing the same thing with my coaching, the same exact thing. And, I speak about Allah and I'll mention, but I kind of keep it very base level, very, very, mayonnaise. Like, I keep it very clean, nothing controversial. Right. But I've had this thought in my head literally for about 2 days where I was like, I need to make a post and explain that if you want to work with me, that you need to believe in God, creator, whatever you call him. That's what you need to believe in, because that's the only reason I'm able to be a coach. The only way I can live my purpose is because of my relationship with Allah and who I am. And I accept all types of relationships with the creator, but there needs to be recognition of a creator in order to work with me.
And what's wrong with that?
Nothing. But this world makes us think that is being biased, that is being self-righteous. Isn't that crazy?
You know what that will be considered in business? Your niche. That would be your niche.
And that's what I've been looking for, to be honest. So I'll take that as my niche. Period. So I can work with my people.
You work with spiritual and or religious coachees or students, trainees, whatever.
Yep.
That's who you were. That's your audience. That's how you would connect. And look at it. I just now wrote down the word confusion because in my experience as a business owner or an entrepreneur, etc., I'm sitting here trying to figure out, why is my audience like, they there, but I don't connect with them. And I'm talking about connect with them on the base that I need, spiritual, mental, emotional, right? Now, me looking at that as in like, oh, that's just a thing that I do. But what the hell I got an audience for? They only on there because they know of me. Disconnected. And it's not for no reason. It's because I'm getting these signs and all this stuff and I'm not listening.
Facts, yo. This is making me think of two things. Number one, how proud I have been in the following weeks of the swan song of Brother Breonna X. Because I'll just put it out here, because I have seen him connect with that brother Jake Taylor, and his message shifted, because I follow him because of how he was always putting the teachings out there, how fluently he spoke about the teachings, and how that connected with him building himself up personally, financially, everything. And then he connected with I don't know his life, so I don't know if this was what changed it, but his connection with brother Jake Taylor, who is a dope brother as well. I'm not going to take anything from him. It started getting more finance, and he's talking about, Bitcoin, and he's talking about all of this stuff that I didn't follow you for, Brother Ben, and now after the swan song, his message is changing again back into what I follow him for, what I enjoy seeing from him. And it's still the message of NFT, Bitcoin, build yourself up financially. However, it's rooted in the essence of Allah, in the nation, in the teachings, and what built him up. He's being more responsible with his freedom. And I appreciate him because you can go on his timeline and just see his process. And with what we're saying, we all go through our process. So respect to Brother Ben X. Are you enjoying this conversation? Well, I have good news for you. Wellness Cyphers by A Course of Action LLC, my life coaching company, are coming to Clubhouse and Zoom. On June 5th and June 6th, I will be hosting the first set of Wellness Cyphers, where we come together in a healing circle as Black people to talk about what's on our mind, to talk about what we want to do, and to create community with the idea of communal healing and self-improvement. That's right. I will be there, and my sister Bre will be there to co-host in this event. This is the first one that will be on these platforms, and I hope to see you there. Find more information in the show notes and links, and you can sign up by visiting Instagram.com/acourseofaction. Thank you for tuning in. Peace. And it's also making me think of how young we are. Brother Ben, me, you, we are very young.
Yes.
And my second thing was, I thought back to when we hear about the nation, how it had thriving businesses, the nation had an airline, it had all of this stuff that was going on. I always thought, dang, what happened to the believers? We don't got nothing. But look at how we are developing right now. Look at us. We are that. And what we have been missing is that we'll take the teachings and run with it and run away, and we get caught up in this world because we think business is outside of the Nation of Islam. But like we've been speaking about, when you plant the seed, you always come back to that righteous thought and think about what we are saying, how we need to show that we are Muslim women in the Nation of Islam on our page. What's up, everyone? I'm back. I really hope you enjoyed that episode. Don't forget, I have other parts. Check them out on Spotify, YouTube, wherever you're listening. Before you click out, do not forget to like, subscribe, and share this podcast episode. Peace.